Breaking news, the SEC now filing suit against Coinbase.
Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong and other executives speaking out last night about the Wells notice that the company received from the SEC this week.
For years, Coinbase, which is the largest asset crypto trading platform in the United States, has faced a ton of investigations from the U.S. government, including scrutiny over unregulated crypto assets traded on the platform.
Clearly, Coinbase is asking for more clarity from the regulators.
Now, here's what's more shocking. In 2022, the U.S. crypto giant reported a loss of over $2 billion, and the company's revenue declined significantly from the previous year. But that's not all the problems Coinbase is facing.
The question really is, are you breaking the law? And is what you are trading a security?
On March 22nd, 2023, the Securities Exchange Commission began an enforcement action over Coinbase's crypto staking products with more information, which we will cover later in this video. But why are the feds interested in this crypto exchange? And what exactly is the crypto giant doing wrong? Stay tuned as you understand why Coinbase has bigger problems on its hands. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. In 2012, Coinbase was founded by a former Airbnb engineer, Brian Armstrong, with the company growing to 1 million users in 2014. And now Coinbase has been at the forefront of cryptocurrency trading, with the company being the largest US-based cryptocurrency exchange and the second largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world in terms of trading volume, trading more than 200 different cryptocurrencies.
Coinbase announcing plans to go public via direct listing today. The cryptocurrency exchange also announcing its revenue has more than doubled in the past year, bringing in more than $1.1 billion.
On April 14, 2021, Coinbase became a public company on the NASDAQ exchange, making the company have an estimated value of $47 billion in 2021, which is more than 100 times its value in 2015, which was estimated at around $400 million.
I think Coinbase is the most publicly visible thing that's in the ecosystem today. And then I think what people will begin to wake up to, perhaps starting with this direct listing, is how big the crypto ecosystem is and how much it is likely to grow over the coming decade.
And now the cryptocurrency exchange is currently valued at over $18 billion in 2024. Now here's what is much more interesting. Since the company became a publicly traded company, Coinbase has gathered over 98 million users worldwide, with a whopping 9 million active users every single month. The company has grown so well that it has now become the elephant in the room in the cryptocurrency exchange market, with the company having a strong reputation for security in an industry filled with risk. As its earnings have been skyrocketing, it's been proven that Coinbase is a huge platform. Its major acquisition came in November of 2021 by purchasing an Indian-based AI-powered support platform called Agera for an estimated $40 to $50 million, and the company planned to utilize Agera's technology to automate its customer experience tools. Now listen, here's where things changed for Coinbase in terms of its success. The company made a 60-second commercial during Super Bowl 56, which today is considered to be the most effective of any commercial during the game. Interestingly, this commercial achieved viral status, which led to Coinbase's website receiving over 20 million visitors in just a minute.
The 60-second crypto ad. It's really simple. It had a floating QR code on the screen, and for anyone that doesn't know, you got to hold your camera up to the screen and then click on the link that pops up. That's how it works.
Since then, Coinbase has expanded its services beyond the walls of the United States. It now provides its crypto services in well over 100 countries in the world, like Australia and much of Asia, South America, and Africa. However, despite Coinbase's success and growth in recent years, the company has proven to be remarkable, but that hasn't prevented the company from avoiding regulatory checks. Let me explain. The United States government, as well as its security exchange commissions, don't like crypto, but they failed to say why. With the government always going through the constant regulatory checks with these crypto companies, Coinbase has been under heavy scrutiny since the exchange became a thing in the US. But this isn't the first time the US government has come after cryptocurrency exchanges operating in the US market. As a matter of fact, Binance is a perfect example. And with Coinbase sitting right behind Binance, the largest cryptocurrency exchange in terms of trading volume, it's expected that it would be impossible for the company to skirt regulatory checks.
The Securities and Exchange Commission sued Binance, saying that it was operating an illegal securities exchange in the U.S.
But how come the U.S. authorities also got interested in Binance? The answer is simple. The U.S. government has been very firm in its decision on national security, and apparently Binance was one of the few companies that failed to comply with its regulatory decisions. With the company trying to skirt these regulations, the U.S. government says it will protect the national interest of the company just to grow its exchange. Binance found itself in a tough position with the SEC when the truth was revealed. As said earlier, Binance is the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world by trading volume. Binance isn't just popular, it's also incredibly influential, but all of this influence ends when a company faces regulatory challenges from the U.S. government. On November 21, 2023, Binance's CEO, Changpeng Zhao, or CZ, pleaded guilty to criminal charges of money laundering brought by the U.S. Department of Justice. And leading the discovery stood Binance founder and chief executive officer, Changpeng Zhao, also pleaded guilty to these criminal activities. This admission came years after long investigation, with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission also pursuing legal action against both the exchange and CZ. Since then, crypto exchanges have been the holy grail for securities investigations in the United States. But hold on, how did all this come about? First, let's talk about how all of this affected Coinbase. You see, Coinbase being the second biggest exchange just after Binance means that any form of scrutiny Binance gets from the government, Coinbase is most likely going to get the same scrutiny because they run the same type of business. And these are the two biggest exchanges in the world.
Over a series of 30 meetings over the last 9 months, we came and met with the SEC. We shared every detail of our business. We answered every question. We spent tens of millions of dollars on legal fees, explaining to them everything we could. And they finally said, all right, we're going to schedule a meeting to come back and give you some feedback. We said, great. This was going to be the first feedback that we had gotten from them in 9 months and after 30 meetings. The day before that meeting, they canceled the meeting. We didn't know why. And then a few weeks later, boom, we get started with a Wells notice.
Now there's something called a Wells notice. This is a letter sent by the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission to people or firms after an investigation conclusion by the SEC. And what this means is that the SEC is planning to bring an enforcement action against them. Interestingly, if a company receives this letter, it means you have 30 days to prove to the SEC why they should not sue your company in court. However, the investigation is conducted on a confidential basis. But the notice, as well as the response by the company, are always public because the information can be used in later public hearings, among other things. Now, this is where the problems began for Coinbase. Listen.
The SEC has issued a Wells notice warning to Coinbase that it is pursuing enforcement action over securities violations.
On March 22, 2023, Coinbase received a Wells notice from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission on the basis that they were about to begin an endorsement action for Coinbase's staking product. In June 2023, the SEC claimed that it was suing Coinbase in court because the company had been acting as an unregistered broker, exchange, and clearing agency since 2019. Not only that, but the SEC also alleged that Coinbase never registered its staking service, and now the Securities Exchange Commission has stated that Coinbase should be permanently restrained from operating. Now here's the twist. Coinbase responded with a counter lawsuit against the SEC by asking a federal court to force the regulator to respond to a rulemaking petition that Coinbase submitted the previous year concerning making clear regulations about cryptocurrencies. In July 2023, the SEC tried to push down on Coinbase, saying that it should stop trading all assets excluding Bitcoin. But guess what? Coinbase refused. The company claimed that its decision to refuse the SEC's request kind of made it an easy choice, and they were ready to go to court and find out what the court's ruling would be.
The SEC just scored a big win in its lawsuit against Coinbase.
Unfortunately for Coinbase, the SEC scored a big win against them because in 2024, the court found out that the SEC allegation against Coinbase is true, and that through its staking program, the company exchanged in the unregistered offer and sale of crypto assets, which the SEC termed securities. Now keep in mind that Coinbase has claimed claimed to be very transparent with the SEC in terms of how it runs its business. Even though the SEC has been in a year-long battle with crypto exchanges, it's quite surprising that Coinbase is not an exception. I mean, the CEO of Coinbase, Brian Armstrong, has come out to claim that even before the company became a public company, they've met with the SEC around 30 times, explaining how they operate their business, how they list assets on the platform, and how their staking program works. But suddenly, the SEC's tone began to change with them asking more questions, and despite Coinbase requesting feedback after numerous dialogues, they were met with silence, up until Coinbase receiving a Wells notice.
Zhao willfully violated federal law that requires financial institutions to guard against money laundering and terrorist financing.
Changpeng Zhao is expected to plead guilty to violating criminal U.S. anti-money laundering laws.
Changpeng Zhao, known as CZ, could be facing jail time to federal money laundering charges.
But the biggest part of this regulatory scrutiny by the U.S. government is still on Binance. The investigation into Binance did not only affect the company, it affected other crypto exchanges as well. And the scrutiny was so big that Coinbase's stock fell by 10% after the SEC sued Binance. You see, when it came to skirting regulations, Binance was the king. I mean, from January 2018 to May 2022, Binance processed over 1 million transactions, totaling nearly $900 million between American users and individuals suspected to be located in Iran.
Binance processed these transactions, but it never filed a single suspicious activity report, and it also allowed over 1.5 million virtual currency trades.
Binance banned traders in Iran in 2018 after the country was sanctioned by the US. But now at least 7 traders have confirmed that they'd used the platform until as recently as September of 2021.
That's not all. Binance's CEO, Changpeng Zhao, and other finance company executives, despite knowing that they have to comply with US laws and regulations, chose to use Americans as a way of growing their profits by not complying with the laws that would end up bringing sanctions to the company. Binance was aggressive in its approach to grow and expansion, and the decision to make this quest was where all the problems began for Binance. It was quite difficult for regulators to enforce compliance and hold the company accountable. But why is this? You see, Binance was one of the first crypto exchanges operating in the US to adopt a decentralized structure and a lack of physical presence in all jurisdictions. And this made it very challenging for regulators to scrutinize Binance's business model, which enabled Binance to operate in an unregulated manner.
You're not really centralized, you're not domiciled anywhere where you could be subject to regulatory agencies.
Again, about cryptocurrency going forward, to what extent it should be regulated to protect.
Then the U.S. Department of Justice claimed that the engagement of illicit activities by Binance played a pivotal role in its rise to the top because Binance prioritizes its interest to grow in the U.S. over the national interest and security of the country, and that Binance will face the most corporate penalty as a punishment in the history of the U.S.
In part because of the crimes it committed, Binance became the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world.
Binance was made to pay a $4.3 billion fine, with CZ also agreeing to pay $50 million in corporate penalty fees for failing to implement an effective anti-money laundering AML program. CZ's decision to advise his employees that it was better to ask for forgiveness than permission has now put the company in a tough situation with the United States government. Binance has been affected dramatically by its reputation, with customers wondering if Binance is a safe place to trade their digital assets. What's more, the company has reported a loss of over $5 billion since the battle with the government, and Binance is yet to recover these losses. However, Binance isn't the only one struggling with its reputation. Coinbase is also, with so many users hating the fact that the platform charges ridiculously on its transaction fees and its choice of pricing. Not just that, the company has also faced money laundering investigations in Kazakhstan, another country where it expanded its operations. And this investigation resulted in a ban, which stopped Coinbase from operating in the country. The biggest of them all happened when the SEC claimed that Coinbase had made billions of dollars unlawfully facilitating the buying and selling of crypto asset securities, which was eventually proven to be true. Interestingly, all of these hurdles haven't stopped Coinbase from expanding its reach beyond the US to build a name for itself. The company's been very open about these plans, and they have claimed that they're ready to go any length to defend the company from the US government on financial matters and its mode of operation. But the most important question remains. With these strong allegations proven to be true by the US government, could Coinbase still be trusted? And is it a safe place for its customers to store their crypto assets? Or are we about to see another FTX brewing to get exposed? Subscribe to the channel to always get updates on Coinbase and know if the company is truly safe or not. Like, share, and share your thoughts below in the comment section. See you in the next video. Bye for now.